Thank you everybody again for being here tonight and taking some time out to come meet some candidates. I just want to start by kind of building off of what we heard before, because all of us know something's wrong in our community. A lot of us know something's wrong with the direction that the country's going in, but what we really have a chance in April to do is to almost have a test run of what the people are able to accomplish when they work together to shape their own community. And on April 3rd, we do have the best chance possible to bring real change here at home. As you heard this election, about 250,000 people that live in the city of Orlando, you're talking maybe 10 or 15,000 votes is going to decide this election. So when you also start thinking of bringing change to the national level, that's very hard. It takes a lot more than us, a lot more than Florida. But what we can do in Orlando is build a real grassroots aggressive campaign and engage the public in a way that they've never been engaged in municipal elections. Part of this problem, like we heard, is we have election dates that no one knows about. We have no campaigning. I'm the fourth person to get in this race, and I'm still the only one with a comprehensive vision for Orlando. We have an incumbent mayor who has served over a decade in that office, and we still don't know what his coherent vision for the city is. Unless it's, party foul, no. Unless it's benefiting his friends at the Chamber of Commerce. I mean, that we see time after time after time. But I'd like to just take a quick minute and tell you a little bit about me and what pulled me in this race, because hopefully that will show you what exactly this campaign is really about. But about a year ago this time, it was about the holidays a year ago, I know many of you, how many people saw the very first 60-minute story on homeless children in our area? A lot of people. And that's something that I saw on TV, and it really struck me. I had just finished up the 2010 elections. It was a pretty brutal year for my side, the side fighting for progress. And I was looking around. We had Rick Scott in the governor's mansion doing horrible things. Horrible things. And we're going to pink slip them soon enough. Then I looked, and we had Dean Cannon here in our home community leading one of the worst state legislatures we've ever seen. The most out-of-touch legislature, cutting over $1 billion from education, feeling like they're doing their job by giving us low-wage, no-benefit opportunities and saying that that was good enough. And then I really looked here at home, and I realized that we have a Democratic mayor that claims he's a champion. We have a city council that's overwhelmingly Democrat, and if you look at our city, we're anything but progressive. I mean, we're thrown breadcrumbs during election season, and we're told to shut up and accept it for 4 years. And quite frankly, that's never been good enough for me. So after 2010, I'm 28. Like a lot of you, a lot of my friends who are in their mid-20s and early 30s, they were looking for the best opportunity. They're looking for a place to settle down and raise that family just like me. And I couldn't honestly look around and say that Orlando was that place. Like I said, it's bad enough that we have a horrible governor. It's bad enough that our state legislature is not going to do anything for quality of life. But here at home, the city's not in the position that I would want to necessarily settle down. And so I got thinking, well, what would you do different? What would you stand for? And that's really what led me to come up with one of the most comprehensive visions that I've seen, and as someone that's run a lot of campaigns for candidates, because I'm used to working for people. And how many times have you been told, I support public education? Or my favorite, crime is bad. Yes it is, but again, a lot of these people, we just heard from candidates, a lot of these incumbents have been there for a decade. Longer. Their public service careers are 2 decades long. And while I applaud that and the accomplishments that they have served, it is time for new blood. It is time for a new direction. And it's time for a true vision that represents and empowers our community. Yeah. So that's what pulled me in this race. My background at college, I went to a Jesuit university, so I've been rooted in social justice issues from the start. That's why I have a decade of experience in nonprofit work and campaign work, trying to encourage people to get involved in the process. So one thing that I promised myself when I got in this race was we were going to have something that we really fought for and believed in. And hopefully that's what the vision represents as a starting point. I want to be very clear, I do not have all the answers, and I don't even want to joke and pretend I do. What I wanted to do, and hopefully what you're going to see from all of our campaigns as we get going, is start that dialogue before Election Day. So we're no longer electing people and then waiting to see what happens. What does that mean when they say they like public education? We don't want to wait until they're in office and they slash $1 billion to find out that's what they feel. But also, it should never be illegal to feed the hungry.
Thank you.
There's some basic things. It should never be illegal to protest the leadership.
Thank you.
Especially elected. And honestly, I don't think, I'm a progressive, but I don't believe in big government handouts to wealthy corporations in the Chamber of Commerce. Like I said, we literally saw a story one week about homeless children in our schools. We had news reports of people being arrested for feeding the needy downtown. And we had our mayor sitting in city council on a Monday afternoon giving $63,000, that's our money, to the Chamber of Commerce for a training that isn't even set. And for what would be 10 to 20 tickets to go to this event, $63,000. I mean, if you can't say that the priorities are off here in Orlando, I don't know what kind of society you want to live in, but I know that there's a better way. And that's what we're trying to shape here. But like I said, this has to be a community-based campaign. We can only accomplish so much. I keep telling people, I could have the greatest ideas in the world and the nicest website and the best people, but if we're not out there engaging people, if we're not bringing them into the process, those good ideas will just stay there in the corner. And one thing I know all three of us believe in, and what we don't have from our elected leadership now, is when we win, we want to implement this change. So when we win this race for mayor and we bring the community along with us, you won't get these political games in office. You won't have city council meetings at 2 p.m. turn the cameras off when it's time for the public question section. I mean, I don't care if you keep me there all night. If you have something to say to your elected leaders, they should be there to listen, period. You should not have to go to their home singing Christmas carols to try to get their attention, although I applaud everyone that did show up because that's how much they're ignoring you. So I want to open this up. I mean, basically, I want to bring a true progressive message. And when I say progressive, I want to also reshape what that word means. Because for too long, especially in Democratic politics, progressive just became a catch-all for very liberal ideas, oftentimes in the media, pie-in-the-sky ideas, or things that sound great but aren't real. And if you look at the vision that I put forward, the platform of this campaign, everything is rooted in successful projects and programs from around the country. Yes, we molded them, we adapted them to the diversity here in Orlando, and in a lot of cases you'll notice I made them a little bolder, a little more progressive. We have a big community in need, we have a community with very diverse needs that we need to represent. So some of these ideas have become better, I think. But more importantly, it's real. It's funded, it's paid for. We're talking about reshifting the priorities of how this city spends money while we're talking about investing in the people that we need to spend money on. So we know we have the issues. We know we have the smarts. I brought on as a campaign manager the former national field director for MoveOn.org. We have great staff around this that can talk to you, people that have canvassed this area for years, people who have worked on campaigns, people who are fighting the current governor and state legislature. We have the team to get it done. I look around this room, a lot of you I didn't even know before tonight, or I've just seen in passing, so I'm very encouraged that we are building the team in the community. And let me tell you, like I said earlier, we are door knocking 6 days a week right now. So you're looking at not only the most passionate candidate in the race, but the most aggressive candidate that knows that I'm out there knocking doors when I ask other people to knock doors. I'm making calls 4 or 5 hours a day trying to raise money and talk to independent and Democratic voters because I'm asking you to make those calls for me. And more importantly, I know I even had one request, a little nervous about canvassing for the first time. I love those volunteers the best. I'll go knock with you your first time myself. And Aretha and I even went out canvassing last weekend together, and I know you'll testify to this too. Every door you go to is not used to this. They're not used to a candidate showing up and asking them how their life is going, or what their ideas for a better city are. I even made a joke, I have my platform I hope you check out. You have issues? I've met some candidates in my life. I've never met a candidate that had issues that wanted to talk about. So we are trying to do things a little different. We're trying to do things a little non-traditional because that's how you're going to win a race like this. But I want to end my comments here and we'll open up to Q&A. And feel free to extend your questions to any of us, and we can all chime in if they have any additional thoughts. But this election, we can win this. And we might not be able to say that we can change the whole course of the country. And we might not be able to say that we can solve all the problems that Orlando is facing, but we can change the direction that we're on. We can bring new people into the fold, and most importantly, hopefully we won't push the talent and diversity that we have here away. And that's why I got in this race. I spoke for 4 months as I started thinking about when I saw that story a year ago, and I started putting my targeting together. And I even tried to recruit, I did my background in Democratic politics, I tried to recruit candidates that I knew, people that were in a position, might have had the financial base to take on a Mayor Dyer. And again, no one could question my targeting. No one could question the issues, and no one could question the target of Mayor Dyer. But often what I heard, and to some of these people, they were role models of mine, they were mentors of mine. I heard things like, that's going to be a pretty negative campaign. I even heard from one of my colleagues, we might lose our invitation status for a few months, and that, that would really hurt where I'm trying to go. And I looked around myself and I said, that's never been the reason I got into politics. That's never the reason I've wanted to serve. Honestly, even we were just joking, Amy and I, about events like this. It's like, wait, I'm usually the one signing people in or getting you engaged. It's kind of weird being on the other angle, but we have too much at stake in this election for Orlando. If we don't act in 2012, we will miss our opportunity to change this city for the next decade. You can mark my words today. And more importantly, if we vote for change, if we put new blood in these positions, you will see a city that turns itself open to the people, that reinvests, like I said, in the community that we have here, and won't simply settle for answers like we need to bring the next largest corporation into town to create jobs. That's not true. I see potential business owners and entrepreneurs all around this room, here, right now. Again, we have a catering business, small business owner. These are the resources we should be investing in, and that's what I'm ready to fight for. So if you're looking for a campaign that's not going to be quiet, that's going to be aggressive, that's going to be knocking on your doors and calling you on your phone, and yeah, we're out there early on Saturday mornings. We wake some people up, but we're working hard because we believe in this message, we believe in this campaign, and we believe in this opportunity. I left my job before I did this. I took a leave of absence. I broke my 401k. So when people also ask me, are you just doing this to get your name out there? I'm not. I could have done a lot more things to get my name out there. I'm doing this because I believe in this campaign. I believe in changing this city. And one measure of success I would take this is that 4 years from now, we had 10 more people running for mayor. And not because I did such a bad job, or Aretha or Luana are putting the city in the right direction, but because of people like us. They believe that they can step up. They don't have to have $300,000. They don't have to kiss the ring of the Chamber of Commerce. They can get involved, they can have an idea, and they can fight for it. And that's what this campaign represents. So I can't do this alone. We will never raise the $300,000, the $400,000 that my opponent will raise, but we don't need to. We have real people in this room, we have real people in this city to engage. But if you can, I mean, we still need money to function. So even if it's $25, $50, more importantly, I want you to be an investor in this campaign, so you're part of this as much as I am, and as much as any of these volunteers. But more important than even money, like I said, the wheels will turn no matter what. I budgeted out, we've made the resources available. I need help on this part. I need help talking to people, bringing in new networks, holding house parties. I would love to come into your community, into your neighborhood. Again, you might be worried about canvassing for the first time. I'll come canvass your street, your neighborhood with you. Little things like that, block by block, person by person, door by door. That's how we're going to create real change. Because I'm not going to stand up here as someone that's been in politics for 10 years and lie to you. One election cycle is never going to change things. It's never going to solve our problems. But what it does is it shifts that direction. It starts to put new ideas, new visions in there to open up those opportunities. And more importantly, I want to make sure that we're building a real base and a real community through this campaign. I mean, I don't simply want 10,000 votes. I want 10,000 residents of Orlando who believe in this message and are ready to fight for it before Election Day and after. So I'm really looking for you to get involved. Like I said, we have about 40, 50 volunteers right now. I'd like to see that double by New Year's. We're going to be very aggressive in January. We're going to march through the path to victory. I mean, it's very clear. We're hoping to hit at least 30,000 doors myself, just me, knocking personally. I hope my team can hit another 30 or 60,000 themselves. And one thing that is different, I see a lot of also young candidates, new candidates. We're trying to do things different as well. Most campaigns that you might have seen before, they close up, it's all about them. It's very protective, it's very, we talk a big, we need a bench, we need more leaders, but it never does come down to that. Most candidates will never go knock doors with another candidate because they'll share the stage. I'm trying to do things different. So everything we accomplish is going to be shared with candidates and leaders that believe in this and want change themselves. because I firmly believe that this is a launching pad for Orlando. This campaign represents the first step of many that we're all going to take together, and I look forward to building that Orlando with all of you. So with that, I'll open up if there are specific questions. Like I said, I'll answer. If you guys want to chime in, just raise your hand. I'm happy to share the stage. And then we'll go back to mingling. We'll open the bar back up, and feel free to grab any of us aside. But I just want to thank everyone for showing up, everyone for believing in me and taking this first step. And with that, thank you, and I'll take any questions if there are any.